Welcome to BalletWise. My name is Michael Wise, and I'm its host and its creator. Today, we want to start a conversation. One of the things in the ballet industry that we try not to talk about because it's rather taboo, but we're going to talk about it today: body image. We've stopped having these discussions because no one seems to come up with an idea of how to fix it. We just all eventually assume that we have to accept it. I want to start off first and foremost that I personally don't have the perfect ballet body. Now, I realize I'm a male, and male dancers probably don't get as harshly judged, but we do get judged. I'm short, overly muscular, so any weight I put on, you'd see it. On average, I had to keep my body weight as low as it could be without it affecting the amount of muscle I could hold on to and the strength I needed to dance. Now, I want to take this from multiple different points of view. I want to ask the question as if I was the student, but I'm asking it to you, the teachers, the directors, the people that kind of are in charge, because we need to be aware that we are the individuals that can either stop it or make it worse. Today's students and dancers are being bombarded with the image of dancers that are not their age, but they're really thin. They are constantly controlling themselves because in a ballet class, we have to be so focused on etching our bodies to look just the right way that we're bound to start judging ourselves in other ways. When you have a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old, quite often their bodies are going through changes. And it's natural and it's normal for a healthy human being for their weight to kind of have an ebb and a flow. I was a deathly skinny preteen, then adolescence hit and I blew up like a balloon. But then all of a sudden, I started leaning out. My diet didn't change. It was the fact that my biology was more in control of what was happening. Because to be quite honest, when it comes to the way our bodies develop, we have very little control. Ballet took a very muscular, almost bodybuilder type body type and lengthened the muscles, helped move my body in a more balletic direction. But I was never going to look like the tall, long, lanky, and lean dancers that were kind of like the poster children of what the ballet industry was looking for. The ballet industry has this problem because we're constantly in it. So eventually we become accepting of it, and then therefore we judge people based off of it. I'm not trying to make excuses for directors or teachers. What I'm trying to do is give everyone an understanding where it is and why it's happening. Ballet is a physical art form. We cannot say that we're not allowed to have a standard of the way the body should look. But I think that we need to set that standard on an individual basis instead of a collective basis, because we're different. I'm different. You're different. All of our students are different. Now, the fact that in ballet companies, most people start their careers in the court of ballet doesn't necessarily help this situation. Going back to the fact that you can take a body that isn't developing like we want it to as a ballet dancer, but we can help it move more in that direction. That is acceptable. Nutrition is something that we should be working with all dancers, whether they are young or old. We need to get them to understand what it's going to take to not only fuel our bodies, but also to give us exactly what nutrients we need to be eating to work at such a high level. I think students need to understand that the dancers that you're watching on social media or dancers that are up on those professional stages, the reason why they're so lean is because they're doing so much physical activity. That the reality is their body is burning more calories than they can ingest. Your body is still developing. It's changing. It's growing. And you're not going to do 6 to 8 hours of intense physical activity every day because that would hurt you. Your body needs to carry a certain amount of weight for it to be healthy. Ballet has got to change. We need to understand that if a student is getting bombarded with all of this information, we as teachers and directors need to be more careful about how we're addressing it. Because you may not think you're saying anything wrong, but because that student or dancer is already so hypersensitive that our one little comment could push them over the edge. Now, I know for some of you, and I know there's some teachers and directors that are just going to say, well, they're just going to have to learn. They're just going to have to grow up and they're going to have to deal with it. I feel like that's kind of the wrong direction. Every dancer, and I mean every dancer, has some body image issues. Because all we're looking at is legs, feet, and we don't want anything else to get in the way. Yes, ballet has a problem, and it's had this problem for almost as long as ballet has been recognized. I feel like in the 20th century, we've become so hyper-focused on the body, the technique, and we're forgetting the fact that there's a human being doing these things. And without the human being, the art can't exist. I've said in one of my previous videos that ballet is kind of like on the tip of a pin. Body image and the negatives that come with it are the reason why ballet is different shades of gray. Because it's always there. It always exists. I'd like to say to those of you out there that can make a difference, whether you're the directors or you're the teachers, that we should be talking to our students and looking at ways we can help them solve their body image issues. We need to address the problem on an individual basis and stop grouping people as if they're a herd of cattle. Once again, ballet can't survive without the person, the dancer. And I think that because we've created these standards that revolve very much around body image, that we're excluding dancers that probably could be better than the ones that have come before them. Height is an issue. You know what? I've literally heard that some people have talked about, well, maybe I need to go get surgery and get bone extensions. That's insane. We shouldn't even be joking around with that. I'm 5'6". There are dancers out there that are 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", that are never or very rarely get their opportunities because people just look at them going, well, they're just too short or they have too much muscle. What about looking at them dance? I think we need to do a better job all around. I think dancers need to be doing a lot more research on proper sports nutrition and understanding what their body really needs. But I'm not the person to tell you, because what I need is very different than probably what you need. Because once again, we are individuals. We will always have a certain level of a body image because we're in an industry that requires it. But I think we can do a much better job of making sure that the standards that have been set don't ruin the dancer, or it doesn't lead them to continue the problem when they end their career and now they can affect others. Once again, I'm talking about this because I want to start the conversation. And I mean, really start this conversation. I don't want people just to be overly judgmental. We want to leave that away. I want people to talk about how we can solve it. Understand that there always has to be a standard because we have to showcase the body in its best form possible. But I think we can do a better job where we don't remove the individual from the equation. So do me a favor, help us grow this channel. Share this with your friends. Share this with people that you think want to get involved in this conversation. The more we can talk about these things, the better the industry will be eventually. So my name is Michael Wise. This has been BalletWise. And remember, keep dancing and be the best person you can be. Bye.